What's up? What's happening? What's going on? Facebook, man, we are live. It's Hump Day Wednesday. You're almost there. Victory weekend, whatever you call it. We're gonna get into it, man. I'm waiting on Friday too, so I can get to my barber, get that chop. When you come into the room, let me know where you're watching from. I'm coming to you from Dallas, Texas. Yeah, I'm later than normal, but I figured I'm gonna start getting on here when I feel like I got something to say. So, first I said I wasn't even gonna get on live, but I decided that a lot of people have asked me, over time, what is my take on spirituality? So I just kind of want to get into how I feel on spirituality. I treat the replays the same way I treat my lives. I just dive. So therefore, I'm just going to crank it up because for those of you who come in later to watch this, I want to make sure that you guys don't have to wait. First off, I just want to touch on, man, spirituality, man. A lot of people get it mixed up and they think that spirituality means that you are a positive person all the time. You always have to think positive. If you have negative thoughts, then you are no longer a spiritual person. That is not how this works. I'm going to set my do not disturb so that we won't be disturbed. But and a lot of people feel like, when they're on their spiritual journey, that if they get a negative thought, then they want to shun themselves or put themselves down for thinking negative. But in true actuality, what goes on with spirituality is being your true authentic self, true authenticity. What's going on, Emmanuel? Appreciate you for checking in, bro. We're talking about basically spirituality, man. Getting into it a little bit. A lot of people think they know what it is or feel like they know what it is. I'm just, letting them know, man, it's not about basically being positive all the time. It's more about the authenticity, man. Being able to express a full range of emotions without feeling guilty or embarrassed about how you feel. Being able to cry. Being able to tell, like I like to tell my friends, being able to tell your homeboy that you love him and not care how it's perceived or how it's looked at. Because you actually do have love for your friend. You have love for the people that are around you. Being able to express wide range of emotions, that's true liberation. That's true freedom. To be able to do that without feeling embarrassed or feeling guilty. And a lot of people don't realize, spiritus means breath, so to be free. And when you think of that, man, to be a free thinker, be able to freely think, be able to put your thought into the universe, be able to put it into the world and not care on how it's sought or how it's seen. Basically being you and letting your inner self run free. And like I said, man, it's being able to deal with your problems and being able to face those problems with a positive charge. It's not necessarily never having problems. You are going to have problems. Just because you're a spiritual person doesn't mean that problems will not come your way. You'll probably actually be tested even more because what happens in spirit with the spirit is we grow within our spirit. We're all born spiritual, but we have to cultivate our spirit over time. So therefore, we're growing within spirit. So you have to make sure that you approach things with a positive charge when dealing with them, because you're going to always come across problems. What's going on, Candace? Appreciate you for checking in. You're always going to come across the problems, man. There's no one spiritual way. There's not a one spiritual way to be. That's because we simply all see things differently in life. Since we all see things differently in life, there are going to be different ways of people to feel, to be able to express that emotion, be able to express themselves, that full range of emotion that I spoke about earlier. That's very important. That's true liberation for you to be able to speak in that way, for you to express how you feel, for you to cry when you want to, laugh when you want, be sad when you want. Being able to express those without having to hide it and be embarrassed by the way you feel. Being able to take into account your existence, how and why. Being able to understand why you're here today, being able to understand the things that you've gone through and how they've gotten you to the position that you're in today. The things that people around you have done that have gotten you to the position that have made you think in certain ways to get you to the position that you're in here today. And that's, true spirituality. And a lot of people think that it takes you being a positive thinker all the time. Negatives and positives go together well, man. They create an awesome charge. And a lot of people don't see that. They work well together. You just have to know how to look at them. You have to look at them from a perspective that serves you. You man, definitely can be spiritual and be yourself, man. A lot of people think that you got to be spiritual. You're all the time positive. You never have a bad day. You're never upset about anything. That is not spiritual. So like I said, spiritual is you being your true self, being able to be authentic. Me to be like, I'll get on here sometimes and I'll tell you, man, I'm not too happy with this. I'm not too happy with that. That's life. We still go through that, man. We still all have lives that we live, man. And being able to understand our connection as beings, being able to understand that connection. I get really excited when I see someone that's on their journey and they're moving through life on their journey because Even if we're not even going in the same direction, I still get excited because we are all connected. So the fact that this person is being able to home in or zone in on their purpose gets me excited for the simple fact that I know that connection. What's going on, Charles? Appreciate you, bro. What's happening, Value? I know that connection, everything comes together. You know, whether you see it or not, you'll be able to feel that, you know, coming into this light. So a lot of people get it mixed up, man. Don't get it twisted. Spirituality does not mean that you are the super most positive person in the world. You know, that is not what that means. You know, you can have negative thoughts. You know, you can have problems that arise still in your life. You know, that's just the way it goes. And a lot of people don't realize, but ego, man, is crazy. Ego, a lot of people like to, you know, dub it as a bad thing. Ego, I like to look at it as like a substitute teacher, or look at it like this: is that driver that a lot of us, you know, how you're driving and you get tired, and you got that person, that passenger that you want to let drive, but they really can't drive. So you put them in the driver's seat because you're tired, but you notice that when you get in the passenger seat, you can't even go to sleep. You know, you're tired, but you can't even go to sleep because this person's driving and they really aren't a great driver, but you need that break. So what happens is the ego will step in and try to take control, but what a lot of people don't understand is the ego will get out of the way whenever the heart asks for it to. Whenever the heart makes its presence in the building, the ego will move aside. So, yeah, egos that substitute driver, don't always look at it as a bad thing. You know, egos are the things that keep us in war, you know, keeps people thinking they're better than this person, better than that person. That's ego. That's the substitute driver, not the real you. That person that you put in the driver's seat when you're tired, you know. So, now you have to always remember that, man. Always remember that. We're born with spirit. We're born spiritual people, but we have to cultivate that spirituality. What's going on, Ben? You have to cultivate that spirituality, man. Don't shun yourself for having negative thoughts, negative ideas. That's a part of it, man. It's all about how you handle situations. That's going to tell on which direction things go for you. A lot of people like to look at negative being one way and positive being another way. They all serve a purpose. They all serve a purpose in this life, man. So it's crazy. So don't think that just because you have a negative thought or something or a problem arise that you're slipping in spirituality, and don't think that someone else is, man. The fact that they're showing you those colors, man, they have more freedom than you have. There's more liberation to them than there is to you, because they're not afraid to show their emotion, not afraid to tell Ben I love him, not afraid to tell everybody on my whole friends list that I really truly feel that about, that I love them. And it doesn't have to take them doing something deep for me to love that person, you know. It's one of those things where I love you for caring, you know. I love you for caring about your life enough. You know, I love you enough for getting on here and reaching the people. Like, that kind of love is needed because we're connected. The love is strong, man. It's really strong. That's the reason why when something happens, we all tend to form together and kind of we gravitate to each other. You know, that's the love, that connection. It doesn't go away regardless of how angry we get, how differently we see things. That love is something that cannot be broken. What's going on, Ben? That love can't be broken. You know, there's people who have hatred in their hearts, and that's all taught. That's all taught. The spirit was not brought into this world to hate. Never was. Never was brought into this world to hate. But like I said, your spirituality is cultivated as you grow. So being cultivated as you grow, people are taught to hate. People are brought up. But then that can also be, you can also take that away. You can take that hate out of the spirit, you know. So that's the thing about it. That's the most wonderful thing about the spirit. It's breath. We give and we take. We give and we take. Spirit is meaning breath. We give and we take. So with every fresh breath that you take, you can actually add to your spirit. What's going on, Ken? I was just talking about you, coming to see you Friday, bro. Gotta get that cut. But like I said, spirit is meaning breath, though. You can actually give the spirit something brand new with by inhaling. That's why I say pay attention to your breathing through meditation, raising your frequency. It all has to do with breath, man. It all has to do with spirit, raising your spirit, you know, attending to your spirit. That is very important that you cultivate that, man. It's simple as that. So remember that. Take it, use it how you want, man. Spirituality is all about authenticity. Highly important that you dive in, man. It's not all about never having a bad day, never having a negative thought. So get that out of your mind. Just because you see someone expressing how they feel, they're upset about something, or they feel a certain way, that doesn't mean that they're negative people. Maybe they're just authentic. All right. Stay happy, healthy, and humble. You guys stay blessed. Peace.